In this video, I'll break down fair value. What is fair value? It is the estimated share price. Typical durations can be 1 year out, 5 years out, or 10 years out. And in this video, I'll actually talk about 4 ways to calculate fair value. Before I dive in, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tepper and I'm the founder and CEO of Tykr. If you're new to investing or want to get better at investing, rest assured you're in the right place. Here at Tykr, we help investors buy and sell stocks with confidence. All right, let's get to it. I'm logging into Tykr and I'm actually looking at one of the most frequently searched for stocks in the last 24 hours, and that happens to be Palantir. So what we're looking at is we're gonna go to the projections tab, and what this does is it breaks down 4 different ways to calculate fair value. And I'll show you in a second where you can find some of the calculations here. I don't have them all, nor do you need them all, but I'll at least give you context on each of these 4 and why they were used at given times in history. We put them into Tykr just so people can see a side-by-side comparison, because people were bouncing around other platforms. We're like, hey, why don't we just put them all in one clean location? Now, keep in mind, there are other ways to calculate fair value, but these are probably the most popular ways to calculate. Let's scroll down. A nice feature here is you can click the 1 year, 5 year, and 10 years and see the side-by-side of the share price and the fair value over that duration. And of course, on the Tykr rating page, you can see the share price next to the fair value. The share price difference to the fair value or percentage off is the margin of safety. A good example or way to look at it is, let's say you have a share price of $100 and you have a fair value of $200. That's a 50% off. That share price is 50% off. That's the margin of safety. And as Warren Buffett has taught us, we like to see a margin of safety of 50% or higher. All right, before we jump in, I want to give a little context here. There are some people that'll use the calculations I'm about to show you, like the raw calculations, and they'll use other platforms and softwares, and they'll say, hey, I see a fair value of $90.02 on this platform and another fair value of $89.17. Does it really matter? The answer is no. As I learned from Warren Buffett studying what he does, he literally used back of the napkin math. And if a stock was somewhere around 50%, it was good enough for him. Essentially what it told him is the valuation of the business is really higher than the share price. You never really want to look at share price, always focus on fair value. I can't emphasize that enough. I see too many people buying and selling stocks based on share price. You want to pay attention to fair value. And of course, if you haven't used Tykr, there's a lot of things to look at. We simplify it, roll it up to this score here. Stocks and Tykr are really on sale, watch, and overpriced. I won't get into that here. So let's really dive into these 4 different ways to think about or look at the fair value. So go to the projections tab and let's scroll down, and we're going to work our way from right to left, starting with discounted cash flow. All right, context here. Discounted cash flow became popular in the 1700s. Why some people still use it today blows my mind, because the way businesses can scale is significantly different than the 1700s. Now, for context there, yes, we think back 200 plus years and think about, okay, what kind of businesses were around? Well, you had your little, selling produce at a produce stand. You could also be providing a service like carpentry. Those are all fine businesses, but are they scalable business? The answer is no. Well, in the late 1700s, this is when more industry started coming about, and you had, stronger manufacturing processes, stronger technology at the place for its time. We also had insurance companies coming out and finance companies, people managing other people's money. So it's like, okay, so more scalability came into play. So that's why discounted cash flow started being used. However, was it a great methodology to use in the 1900s? The answer is no. So that leads to number 2, which is the Graham fair value. Now, with Graham fair value, there are 2 reasons why that's not a strong way to value businesses today. Number 1 is he uses the P to E ratio in the calculation. As taught on Investopedia, P to E ratio and P to B ratio are actually misleading indicators. A high or low number can be good or bad. So how do you make a decision? Long story short, don't use those 2 ratios to make a decision. In our case, we actually do show the ratios. If people are curious, they can go to Ratios tab, and you can see here, you're going to see colors on what's good and what's bad. But you'll notice that P to E ratio and P to B ratio, we don't show good or bad because, again, it can be a misleading indicator. So that's one reason why, the Graham equation isn't really applicable today. Another reason is the bond rate was factored into the equation. Now, I'll stop here. If you are curious, you can go to Tykr.com education. You can go to calculations. You can see all the calculations in Tykr, and you can go use those for personal use. And you can go to downloads, and you can download some of the equations I'm talking about here. In fact, I'm going to show you my screen here in a moment, and we'll go through an Excel sheet. But that'll save you a ton of time. You can play with these. And one thing to keep in mind here is the bond rate started becoming more popular in the 1900s, somewhere around 100 years ago. Unfortunate for bonds haven't really performed that well, especially in the recent years. Why is that? Well, thank you to the power of the internet, businesses can scale significantly faster than they ever have before. In the 90s, 2000s, more technology, more internet businesses started coming out. Now today, a lot of businesses on the S&P 500, they sell a lot or use technology, the internet, to really scale quicker. With bonds, I'll talk about that in a second, then we'll get back to the Graham equation. With bonds, one thing to keep in mind is they are for wealth protection mode, not wealth building mode. When you join Tykr, we teach people about the difference. Wealth building mode, you should be in about 10 to 15 stocks. This is if your retirement timeline is 5 years out or more. Now, if you're in wealth protection mode, such as you're somebody who's nearing financial independence or retirement, then you want to move to more index funds and ETFs. You can, if you want, you can also put your money in bonds, but do keep in mind, most bonds typically don't even keep up with the S&P 500 or other index funds and ETFs. So we found that, and there are other investors that found the same thing, is bond rate actually holds back the valuation. It's very low, and we can see that here. The Graham equation, it's a very low valuation of stocks. It's holding everything down. So that's why, hey, 100 years ago, sure, that was a great way to value businesses, but thank you to the internet, post 2000, a new technique was needed. And that leads us to the third one, which is Rule 1. Phil Town came up with this equation, and this is the first valuation technique that made the most sense to me. I've read a lot, I've seen a lot, but when reading his books, the light bulb clicked, because the number one thing to focus on in value businesses are profits. If profits are increasing, typically the share price goes up, and if profits are decreasing, typically the share price goes down. This made the most sense to me because I have a lot of big business experience, over a decade working for large public companies and even a few large private companies. And guess what? Every quarter, the big focus is on profits. How are we doing? Is this a profitable initiative? Are we going to increase profits of the company? It's the thing everybody's talking about. So when I read that in his book, I was like, oh, connect the dots. That makes sense. That's how you value businesses. And of course, you can go here. You can see how some of the calculations are made. Now, this leads up to number 4, and we'll talk about what are we doing different. This is where I want to share my screen, and we'll get into this Excel sheet. So here we go. This one titled Tykr Fair Value Calculator. You can download this, and I got a few examples here, and these share prices are not up to date. Keep that in mind, but I'll break down the math a little bit to give you context on what we're doing and something we changed that's a little bit different than Phil Town. So here we go. Let's break down this first one, which is Fortinet. And we can see I've got a share price of 110.02. Where there's yellows where you change something, everything else is calculated for you. And if we go down here, we can see we've got the fair value before what we call the swim lane. Let's back up a second. We'll get to that number. So we've got the share price, and then we have the trailing 12-month EPS. If you ever see TTM, that's what that stands for. So we got 2.28. That's $2.28. That's EPS. And then 4 years back, what was it? It was 60 cents. The total return over that duration of 4 years is 280, but we don't want to use that number. We need to annualize that over the 4 years. So you can see the equation that's used there. That number is 39.6% annualized. Okay, so we need that number. So then we see here The estimated share price is $3,000 in 10 years. But then next, what we're going to do is do what Phil Town does, which is you can see the equation is B2, which is the share price. Then you have times 1 plus B6. That's that annualized return to the power of 10. So it's going out 10 years. Now we're going to divide it by 4. We're going to make a really conservative estimate of what the share price is. Not 2, we're going to divide it by 4. I thought that was a really cool technique because you could go raw and just say, hey, this stock is going to be, $15,000 in the coming years and just leave it at that. No, we want to kind of bring things down to earth a little bit. Let's divide it by 4. I love that. That made a lot of sense to me. So we can see here 774. However, we're not done yet. I wanted to go a step further and create a little more rigor on this to kind of bring in those prices on the fair value. So what we do here is we have a swim lane. You can see this note here. The lowest end will cap at 15%. So let's say an annualized return is not 39. Let's say it was 9%. That's too low. We're going to bring that up to 15, and then we're going to cap the top end at 35%. We did a lot of testing around this and really found that swim lane to be a nice, conservative, focused valuation. And that's why we use that number or this methodology in Tykr. So again, low end 15, high end 35. That's a swim lane. Swim lane really is a phrase coming from my background. I worked at GE a little bit, and a lot of process engineers, they would use that phrasing. Just made a lot of sense to me. All right, so in this case, we can see 39 is just above the 35, so we're going to cap it at 35. And you can see here the calculation we get to is $553 for the actual fair value. Nice conservative estimate in 4 years. Let's go to another one here. This is a good example. NVIDIA, again, share price is not current today, but you've got 134. Trailing 12-month EPS, 121, and the EPS 4 years ago is up 0.12, 12 cents. All right, then we get to the numbers here, 908 total return. We got to annualize that over 4 years, so it's 78.2. And again, all the math is here for you. Share price in 10 years, $43,000. Is that the number we want to use? No. Can share prices go that high? The answer is yes. Burke A, if you don't know, is like several $100,000. I think last time I checked, it was like $700,000 for one share. So share prices can get up there, not as common. But anyway, we're going to apply that fair value. And what Phil Town does is divide by 4, you get to 10,000. Not done yet. We want to cap it. We want to cap that at 35% on the high end. So that brings it down to a nice conservative $675. So $10,000? No. $675? Yes. I'll stop there. You can go ahead and copy these columns. You can make more. You can add more stocks, but that's a great tool to play with. And now keep in mind, when you look at fair value and you calculate in Excel, and then you look at Tykr, and then you go to another platform, if they're a little different, that's totally fine. You got to think like Warren Buffett. If it's close enough, back of the napkin math, and you get to, going back here to Tykr rating, you want to get about a 50%. I'll emphasize that quite a bit here. 50%, about 50% or higher, then you're good. There are people that only, and I have to stress this, they will only look at margin of safety. Of course, fair value leads to margin of safety, and then make a buy or sell decision. You can't do that. With Tykr, what we do is we look at that summary. We look at that score. Overall, higher the score, the safer the investment. We look at that margin of safety. We also factor in the 4M tool. And of course, we want to get 80 or higher there. To really give yourself a lot of layers of confidence, I'll bundle up a nice location. Go to the 7 tab. That gives you all the green and red markers you need, and we try to aim for 5 or higher. This is really a nice holistic view of what you really should look at. Again, you only look at one thing. Like people only look at market cap plus P/E ratio and then make a buy or sell decision. Like you're missing a lot there. You want to look at a little more. It's like if you're the GM of a football team and you're picking your next quarterback based on what shoes he wears. Sure, that's nice, but you're missing a lot of details. We factor in all those details here. So I could talk all day about, of course, Tykr, but hopefully that gives you good context on fair value. Again, go to the downloads page. You can play with the fair value, the different ways to calculate it, and feel free, go to the calculations page and you can go create these calculations on your own, use them on your own. Of course, I created Tykr to just save everyone, including myself, a ton of time. It would take me like 10 minutes to value one stock at a time. with the Excel sheet way, but now with Tykr I can just log in within seconds. I can see dozens. But anyway, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, go ahead and email support@tykr.com. If you want to buy and sell stocks on your own with confidence, you can join Tykr for free. And of course, don't buy and sell stocks based solely on what you hear. Only buy and sell stocks that align with your own personal financial goals. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.